In this video, I wanted to talk about walking by faith alone because it can be very challenging. And if you have a bunch of things telling you to do something, that's healthy to do or even scary to do, but not hurting anybody else, you hear like maybe the voice in your head, or you just have this feeling on your heart that you've got to do something. We read about this in the storybook called the Bible. There's many books in the Bible. There's some books that were taken out that are even crazier than what's actually in the Bible, and I recommend getting the Apocrypha to read some of those. But throughout the entire Bible, it is walking by faith alone, because walking by faith is walking by things that aren't seen but are to happen, right? The Word of God is going to come upon you in whatever form that it comes upon you in, and you either make the choice to do it or you don't. Now, I don't know that we have eventually you're going to do it, but I do believe that you probably can cause delay in whatever's supposed to happen by not doing it. I don't know all the rules to this almost game that we're in, but it is definitely, you have to do it. You have to do it. Unless it's like this voice telling you, to go harm somebody or something like that, that's not God. But if it's something, I don't know, like to quit your job or to move somewhere else, or that this relationship is what you need, or whatever it is, something that just really doesn't make any sense. Somebody may come into your life and it just doesn't even make sense, but the voice in your head's telling you like you need this relationship, or whatever it might be, whatever the circumstance might be, or like you might have had the same job for a really long time and but you can't stand it, and the voice is like, just leave. You'll be taken care of. And eventually you do. But the people who are going to be your biggest critics are going to be your family and your friends. So I actually kind of recommend, unless you're married, obviously that's a different situation. You're going to have to tell your spouse what you're doing. But if it's your external, if you're not living with these people, or maybe even if you are, I just wouldn't tell them. Just go do the thing. Like, I don't know. I keep using this apartment as for example. I kept getting for the last year, maybe year and a half, told, like, you're going to be moving to New York. I'm like, I don't know how that's going to happen. And then I started getting shown like apartment listings and stuff like that. Like last year, I'm like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, how, whatever. And it just kept, one thing after another kept showing me that this was going to happen. And I didn't tell anybody because I'm going to now have to defend it. And you can't really walk by the faith and defend the faith that you're walking by at the same time. It just really doesn't happen. And this is why successful people generally don't tell anybody what they're doing. Unless that person is involved with the process, they don't tell anybody until after it's happened, like after it's done. Because otherwise the naysayers are just going to naysay until you just don't do it. Again, the example of Noah. Can you imagine if Noah would have told everybody he's building this gigantic ship and why he was building it? Or the ark, It's just, you have to just walk by faith. And this faith, whoever is supposed to be involved with it will be involved with it. And whoever's not supposed to be involved with it won't be involved with it. I can't even tell you how many people were ripped out of my life this year. Even people that I've been friends with since the 80s, especially one specific, he disappeared. I don't even know. So people who are not meant to come with you are not going to come with you. And that is just something you're going to have to be all right with, because it's not something you can change. I was trying to kind of find somebody to date earlier this year, or in the mid-year. I was going out and photographing people, and things would go great, and all of a sudden they would just be gone like nothing. And I'm like, it's just not supposed to be. It's just not supposed to. I couldn't have any tie to where I used to live at. So you are going to notice things. Once you kind of finally accept the invitation, you are going to start noticing things that are supernatural, that are going to start falling into place. And the people who are not supposed to be in that are not going to be in that. The jobs that are not supposed to be coming with you are not going to come with you. Even if you don't, like that voice will tell you, you know, just leave the job, leave the job, leave the job. You know, you're not supposed to be here. And if you don't listen, the job will just get rid of you. If you don't listen in a certain situation, that person or that job or whatever the situation will just get rid of you. And you just delayed it. It's been telling you for how long now, this just isn't working out. And you shouldn't be doing this anymore, and you keep doing it. And that's where you have to walk by faith, and you can't listen to anybody else. And if your spouse is the person that you're supposed to be with, you're going to tell them like, look, I know I'm not supposed to be here anymore, and they'll be supportive of it. They'll be kind of probably forewarned, or, you know, they'll probably have that like, yeah, you're not supposed to be doing this either. They'll probably know, you know, maybe even before you do, maybe that they're your support system or whatever it is. Now, I do think, I'm not going to go into that in this one, but like they're gonna know as well. Like it's going to be told to them as well. And the more you talk about it with other people, the more you have to start defending it. So just don't tell anybody. Just don't tell anybody. So that's how you walk by faith and don't have to defend it. Because the more you defend something, the more you lose interest in it. And the more you lose interest in it, even if you do it, you just bring nothing with you into that venture, and it just turns into crap. And the only reason I can say this is because I've been involved with this situation so many times, it's not even funny. And I finally learning like 4 decades into being on this planet that like, oh, you probably shouldn't be doing this, so just don't do it. And yeah, so that is my thoughts in this particular video. Walk by faith, and the faith is not going to be seen. You're not going to see it until you see it. You're not going to see what's going on until you see what's going on. And that's probably the scariest thing that there is on this planet. You're not, it's just like wind or electricity or whatever. Like I've got a light on me using the electricity that I can't really see. So I see the result of it, but I don't see anything else other than the result of it. So it's kind of like you have to be this light right here, and the light knows that the electricity exists, and it works because it knows that the electricity exists. But you have to walk by faith and know that at the other end of this is that promise or whatever it is that you've been told. And that can be scary. It really can be. But you have to do it, because if you don't do it, it will be done for you, and I don't think it's as good. I really don't. Because it just shows you don't have faith, right? So anyways, hopefully this video made any sense to you. If it did, comments, questions down below, or maybe not really questions, but maybe tell people what you have done to walk by faith, as it were. And I will talk to you in the next one. Peace.